My name is Katie and I am behind Mountain Girl Wellness, and welcome to another new moon meditation session. Now these sessions I usually do in person if this is your first time here, but just due to some circumstances beyond my control, I found that it was easier for the last couple months to put these meditation sessions online. So you are getting a great deal because you are getting to experience this, and you don't have to be in person if you're not located near me. You still get to be a part of the meditation circle and journey that we're going to take for this new moon. Things you might want to have with you would be a journal and a pen, something to write with. You want to make your space really comfortable. You might want to get a yoga mat or pillows, blankets. Just make yourself the most cozy that you possibly can. And then you also might want like a water or any snacks nearby too. And then finally, if oracle cards are something that you own or would like to participate in and you have a deck at home, you might want to have those nearby as well. We will go through a centering, a longer meditation that meets this month's theme, and then we'll do a nice little closing intention setting and centering at the end as well. So like I said before, I usually do this in person, but since I am making this an online offering for you to be able to do in the comfort of your own home whenever you like, it is just a donation-based class, so anything that you feel free to give or feel moved to give, the Venmo information for my Venmo will be found down in the caption of this video. But if you're not called to donate in that way or can't donate in that way, that's totally fine. I at the very least ask that you please share this on your social media, share it with friends and family, and that helps me a great deal. So I will thank you for that as well. So all of my content for these new moon meditations specifically come from the series and content from Wild Woman's Project. So if you would like to learn more about the Wild Woman Project, you can at www.wildwomanproject.com. It's a great site with lots of different offerings, and I highly recommend you check that out. So with that being said, if you need to pause me here, get your space ready, maybe get candles, incense, anything that you want to make your personal space feel more comfortable, please do. And when you're ready, you can hit play and we will go ahead and get started. So I do start out every circle by lighting a candle. So if you do have a candle near you and you would like to light it together, you can, or if you would just like to gaze on this candle, whichever you prefer. So I will go ahead and light this as a symbolic gesture that we are starting our journey together for this new moon. So let this flame represent the wild spirit that burns within each of us. And as we ignite our own wild spirit, we ignite the collective spirit. So before we get started with our material, we will do a short centering just to kind of bring ourselves into the present moment and into our present space. So take a second here if you need to adjust, if you need to get into your most comfortable position. The traditional position for any meditation is to be seated, cross-legged, grounding the sits bones into the floor and grounding the spine and the crown of the head, growing it up towards the sky. But if that does not feel comfortable for you, that is completely fine. You can lay down, you can sit in any way. You might even want to use a pillow or a relaxing restorative yoga pose. Whatever feels best for you in this moment, go ahead and take a second to get situated, and then we'll begin. So once you're situated, go ahead and allow the eyes to close gently. And just allow yourself to arrive here in this space. Feel the ground beneath you. Feel the air on your skin. And take note of how your body feels in this moment. Allowing your mind to settle in the present. Not worrying about what happened during the day so far or what is going to come after. Just being right here and right now. Maybe start to focus your attention on your natural breath. Don't change the breath in any way. Just notice it and focus on it. The inhales and the exhales. And use it as an anchor for your attention. And as you continue to focus on your breath, you might begin to notice your exhales drag out just a little bit longer and slower. And as your exhales lengthen and slow, you might begin to notice that your inhales are growing deeper and lasting a little bit longer. You might begin to start taking some of the longest, slowest, and deepest breaths that you have taken all day today. With every inhale, offering your body new energy. And on every exhale, allowing all of the tension of the day to just release from the body. And just continue to take these long, deep breaths. And as you do, imagine with every inhale, the new, clean energy and breath that's entering your body. Imagine it as a white light. With every inhale, see if you can get that white light to settle down into your chest. And then maybe down into your belly button region, the solar plexus. And then maybe as you continue to relax further, you can pull that white light down even deeper to sit below the belly button. growing with every inhale you take, every new breath, offering new light and energy to the body. And focus on this light and this energy that you were growing, using it as an anchor for your focus. Now taking deep belly breaths, never forced, just relaxed. And on your next inhale, see if you can begin to guide that light, that focus, up towards your mind, up into your headspace. Might take a few breaths to anchor your focus there, and that's okay. Take as many as you need. But once your awareness is fully present within your mind space, just observe what that space looks like right here, right in this moment. Don't try to change it in any way. Just be an observer in the space. You might see colors or shapes. You might see images, or you might see nothing at all, and any of that is okay. Just take note of where your headspace is at here in the present moment. Now on your next inhale, begin to once again pull that light, that energy, your focus and your awareness down from your head space, down into your heart space. Again, it might take a few breaths to get it there. That's okay, and once you do arrive, once again, just be an observer, not changing anything or trying to manipulate anything in any way. Just observe where your heart space is here in that present moment. Again, you might see images, colors, shapes, or nothing at all. And your heart space might be in line with your head space, or it might be completely different. And either way, that's okay. Now see if you can feel that energy channel that we created in between that head space and heart space. The channel you use to guide your focus in between the two. And feel that new energy that we left behind there, like a trail connecting our mind and our body. Feeling that connection. And on your next inhale, take a moment here to just connect with whatever it is that you feel most as divine. Whatever you consider to be sacred and divine, whether that is a higher power, a feeling in the universe, or maybe just an energy deep within yourself. Whatever it is that you believe or believe in, take a moment here to form a connection with that thing or person or energy. Connect with what it is that you hold as divine, and ask that you be open during your meditation for that connection. And finally, we have a connection here between mind, body, and spirit. And stay here in this centering state as long as you need to. But when you are ready, go ahead and begin to peel the eyes open, returning to your natural breath. Take a moment here to pause my video and turn towards your journal and make any notes that you would like to remember or look back on throughout your moon cycle. Maybe anything you want to remember about your head or your heart space, or anything else that might have popped up for you. When you are done journaling, then go ahead and hit play again. Okay, so if you are back with us, we will continue on. The new moon is when we do these special meditations, and it's just because the new moon is a time of new beginning. It's the brand new start of a new moon cycle. And it's the time when the moon has just let go of all its old energy. It's completely empty and ready to start anew again, so that it can start the whole process over, building new energy and working towards that full moon again. And so the reason we do this at new moon time is just to give ourselves a new beginning and set new intentions to kind of go forward from where we are right now. And this month's new moon is July 28th, or it could be the 27th, depending on where you are located at in the world. But here where I am located, it will be specifically at 1:55 p.m. on Thursday, July 28th. And then the full moon in the cycle is going to occur on August 11th. So at full moon time, it'll be a great opportunity to check in with the intentions that you set here today, leading in, and see where you're at with that. So this is the new moon in Leo, and Leo is the sign that is represented by the lion, and it is ruled by the element of fire, and then its planetary ruler is actually the sun. So a very fiery sign, a very outgoing sign, because it's getting that fire element, but then also the fire from the sun as well. And Leo is a fixed sign, so it is not very mutable. kind of set in their ways and really enjoy structure. A fixed sign doesn't like just going with the flow very much. They don't do well with that. So if you know any Leos, that might ring true for them. Some key words here to think about as you head through the cycle, whether you are a Leo or not, but things you might want to think about when setting your intention later. Keywords for Leo season include charisma, cheerfulness, courage, dignity, expressiveness, faithfulness, and warm-hearted and proud. So those are a few things to kind of think about as we move through our meditation and into our intention setting. You might want to examine that just in honor of the season, or you might want to go a completely different direction, and that is fine too. But we do have a specific theme for every month, and as I mentioned earlier, all of the themes specifically just for these new moon meditations come from the Wild Woman Project. And each year they do a series, a themed series throughout the year. And currently we are within the series of the Path of the Poets. So each new moon we are encouraged, and our theme for our meditation is inspired by a prolific woman poet who really embodies the wild woman philosophy. And this month is actually going to be the last month of this series. We have been enjoying this series for an entire year now. So this meditation is actually the last in the series, and then a new series will pick up in September. But the theme for this new moon meditation is the world offers itself to your imagination. And it is actually inspired by the poet Mary Oliver. And Mary Oliver was chosen as our last poet because she was also our first poet when this series started out. Unfortunately, I don't have a recording of all the different meditations inspired by the different poets because I don't record my in-person sessions, but there are a few. If you want to check them out later, you can. But today we're going to be inspired by Mary Oliver. Mary Oliver was a poet who just recently passed, actually in 2019, and she had her first published works back in the 60s. And all of her work, well, not all of her work, but a lot of her work is inspired by nature. And so she has a lot of different publishings. She's won a lot of different awards. So I definitely recommend after this maybe going back and Googling her and finding out a little bit about her. But today we're going to be looking at one of her poems specifically and drawing some inspiration from it for our meditation. So in just a moment I will read that poem to you. And if you want to get comfortable and kind of once again get into that centered feeling, and just let the poem wash over you as I read it, and then we'll kind of think on it a minute, spend some time journaling about it if you would like, and we'll move into our meditation. So like I said, just get comfortable. This is a shorter poem today, but close your eyes and allow the poem to wash over you. So this poem is titled Wild Geese by Mary Oliver. You do not have to be good. You do not have to walk on your knees for 100 miles through the desert repenting. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. Tell me about despair, yours, and I will tell you mine. Meanwhile, the world goes on. Meanwhile, the sun and the clear pebbles of the rain are moving across the landscapes, over the prairies and the deep trees, the mountains and the rivers. Meanwhile, the wild geese, high in the clean blue air, are heading home again. Whoever you are, no matter how lonely, the world offers itself to your imagination, calls to you like the wild geese, harsh and exciting, over and over, announcing your place in the family of things. So take a moment here if you would like to sit in silence and ponder that poem. I will read it one more time just before we begin our meditation. But if you need a moment here, you want to kind of journal on the meaning of it, or you want to rewind me and hear it again. And there's obviously a few hints of themes within that poem, like repentance and despair and allowing that soft animal of your body to love, the call of the world and offering itself to your imagination. But the great thing about poetry is that we can all hear the same poem and we can all get a different message and meaning from it. So take a moment here, like I said, if you need, and take a moment to do that. And when you're ready, we will move on. Okay, so we'll go ahead and move on. And I will post a copy of that poem onto my Instagram and my Facebook page either later tonight or tomorrow, so that you can look back on it and have a copy of it. So do make sure you are following Mountain Girl Wellness online for that. Now, in my in-person circle, before we move into our main meditation, we will typically do an oracle drawing, oracle card drawing. And if you don't want to participate in this part, you do not have to. Or if you have an oracle deck at home that you would like to use for a moment and do your own card pull, you are more than welcome to do that as well. But what we normally do in circle is we will all pull our own oracle card and spend a moment with it. And obviously, since we are not physically together right now, I'm just going to pull one card to represent all of us in our community during this new moon cycle and the new moon in Leo. And if you're not familiar with oracle cards, they aren't quite the same as a tarot deck. They're not tarot cards, and we are not telling our future here. We are just using them as a way to get more in touch with our inner selves, our inner intuition. Most of the time, answers you find within the cards you already know deep down inside you, and you just haven't figured it out yet. So when we do draw our card, you can use it almost as a journaling prompt for your intuition and your inner self. So I will draw a card to represent all of us, like I said, and we'll take a moment to look at the card. I will read to you the intended meaning behind the card from the author, but first I like to give you a moment to look at any words or imagery on the card and see what comes to you. something might jump out immediately, or it might not. It might take a little while. You might be heading through your moon cycle and suddenly something happens to make you think, oh my gosh, that's what the card was talking about. So this month I am using the deck Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron Reed. I have used this deck on here before, and I actually had another deck chosen for this meditation that kind of fit the season of Leo a little bit more, but for whatever reason this deck kept jumping out to me. So when I was preparing, so I decided it was the one we should use. So if we'll all just kind of get back in that centered space, focus on the cards, sending them our intentions, taking an inhale together and an exhale. And I'll choose a card that sticks out for us. And the card is the Thinker. And I will try to get the best picture of it here so that you can see. And once again, you might want to pause this video, check out the imagery, any words or numbers that sticks out to you. Try to get a better, less of a glare. And I'll also post a picture of this card on my social media so that you can have a better look at it. I'll post it when I post our poem. But go ahead and pause me here if you'd like to take a minute with the card, maybe journal about it, any notes you want to remember later. All right, and then I'll read to you what the author's intended purpose behind the card was. So 44, Thinker. This card represents strategy, being analytical and logical, which, oh my gosh, makes so much sense for Leo, right? Because it's a fixed sign. So the message behind this card: the ability to reason and strategize is the focus right now. Take things at face value and follow the logical path. Your calculations will prove to be correct. For in this moment there is no deeper meaning than what is obvious. Things are exactly as they seem. You have all the information that you need. Keep it simple, and you will win the game of life that you're playing right now. So I think that's a fun little message. And if you like this deck, I can also, they have other messages for like specifically relationships and prosperity and things like that I can post along with the picture of the card itself when I post that online. But that was the meaning from the author. But like I said, you can get any meaning from the card. That's the great thing about oracle cards. They're not quite as many rules and things as a tarot deck. So if you need another minute with that, you can pause me here. And if you're ready, we will move on into our main meditation. So typically for meditation, as I said, the traditional seat for meditation is seated, cross-legged. But for this specific meditation, I do invite you to lay down to get your most comfortable. You might want to even play some gentle meditation music in the background. Whatever you feel you need to do to really relax, to let go. And once you're ready, we will begin. And I will begin by repeating the poem from Mary Oliver as you begin to relax into a meditative state. So laying down, allowing your body to settle, letting the eyes close, and focusing back in on your breath, using it once again as an anchor, allowing yourself to once again center right into your present space, this present moment. And let this poem wash over you. Wild Geese by Mary Oliver. You do not have to be good. You do not have to walk on your knees for 100 miles through the desert repenting. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. Tell me about despair, yours, and I will tell you mine. Meanwhile, the world goes on. Meanwhile, the sun and the clear pebbles of the rain are moving across the landscapes, over the prairies and the deep trees, the mountains and the rivers. Meanwhile, the wild geese, high in the clean blue air, are heading home again. Whoever you are, no matter how lonely, the world offers itself to your imagination, calls to you like the wild geese, harsh and exciting, over and over, announcing your place in the family of things. Take a big breath in, and on your exhale, allow your body to begin to melt. See if you can melt like butter on warm toast. And when your inhalation comes around again, allow it to come fully. Inhales and exhales. Inhaling fully, exhaling to melt. Just allow yourself to inhale and exhale steadily, remembering that our breath helps us to be present, helps us to feel. Inhale and exhale. And we're going to tap into our imaginations, our inner vision, and our inner sensing. Some of us are very visual and we may see things, while some of us will feel things and sense an energy in our body. So there is really no wrong way to experience this journey that we're taking now. Being inspired by the poetry of Mary Oliver, see if you can put on a sense of adventure, like a cape gently draping over your body, warming your spirit, turning on your imagination. Inhale and exhale, really fully letting go. Imagine that you are walking on a beach. You're walking on your own. You can smell the water. You can smell the ocean air. You can feel the texture of the sand under your feet. And you feel the wind on your face, tickling your eyelashes, blowing your hair. You can feel the humidity on your skin and in your soul. There's an open sky above your head. And you are just walking and walking along the shore. Inhaling and exhaling. And you hear a loud, harsh noise coming from above your head. You look up and you see the wild geese flying through a blue sky, heading home again. And you inhale and you exhale. You continue to walk down the shore, and you see far off in the distance that there is a fire going. And there's some people around the fire. Not very many, just a handful. You walk closer, and as you approach the fire, you see the sun starts to set, and you look around at the faces, the other faces of these other beings around this fire. And you notice that these people here are all the wisest people in your life. Who knows why they are all together here in this place, but they are, and they are glad to see you. In this collection of people are people that you know personally. And don't try to make your mind choose people. Just let whoever first comes come through. Maybe these are people who are wise in part of your life, who you know personally. Or maybe they're people who are wise, who you have never met. Maybe they are people who are no longer living, who are part of the wise people in your life. And there is a warm sense in the air, a sense that everyone is happy to be here and to be together and to gather around the fire. You inhale and you exhale, really noticing the senses and feeling them deep within you. One bold soul in this group of yours stands. They point to a pile of sticks and they say, "What is on your heart? What hurts you? What is heavy? What is despairing you?" We will all share those things and throw our stick into the fire. These shares aren't long. It's just a quick word or sentence. It is just simply what hurts, what aches, what I am despairing about. So that one bold person starts and picks up a stick tenderly and says whatever is on their heart. And as they do this, they throw the stick in the fire, and the fire takes it and accepts it and dances in a special way that fire does. The next person stands and gets their stick, and in their own way, they say what is their despair. And they too throw their stick in the fire, and the fire takes it and makes something with it. And the next person and the next person, they all get up one at a time. And there is this experience of person by person laying their burden down in the fire, naming it, not running from it or hiding from it. We all have at least one. The fire takes stick by stick by stick, each burden, and every time someone shares what burdens them, there is a beauty to the fire and a lightness around it. There is a magic happening. The spell of one's despair is being broken, stick by stick. And you keep witnessing this and feeling it and sensing it and breathing it. You take a deep inhale and melt with your exhale. And it's now your turn. You are the last. And you see all these wise people in your life all together, with that special light of the glowing fire on their faces. And they look at you. You stand up and you get your stick. And you lay that stick in the fire as you say what hurts. And you all watch together as the fire takes that stick and creates heat and light and a dance. You inhale and you exhale. And that sense of lightness that was around the fire washes over you. And the whole group feeling the soft animal of their bodies. There are no words spoken, just warmth around the fire. And you feel that soft animal of your body. See if you can feel it. Just a little bit more. Let that feeling expand. Inhale and exhale, expanding. What do you love? What do you love? That question seems to come to you on the wind, and everyone hears it. And see if you can allow the soft animal of your body to respond and to feel that love. Whatever comes to heart and comes to mind, what do you love? As you are sitting here by the fire, feeling this love, it's like your intuition and your imagination begins to open. You look around the circle, around the fire, at those who are there with you. And everyone looks a little different, a little softer. And right at that moment, the moon starts to rise over the water. And you can feel that in that moment, your connection to everyone there with you, and your connection to the moon's connection to the water, and the water's connection to the sands. You can feel for just a moment your connection to everything in the universe. And somehow there is love when you feel that. Without saying a word, everyone in the circle looks around at the faces of everyone else in the circle, and the fire burns. You inhale and you exhale. You inhale and you exhale. And as you continue to breathe, the fire slowly begins to become dull. And just like that, you are back in your room. This moment, this body, in this place. You touch your hands to your body, feeling a moment of gratitude for anything that you received from the journey that you just took. And maybe you say a little inner gratitude towards Mary Oliver, who gave of herself, who took the world offering itself to her imagination and spun an offering herself that we have been blessed to receive. Lie here as long as you feel you need. When you are ready, you can open your eyes and move towards your journal. And take time to write or draw or record anything you felt was important that you want to remember later, to look back on. Maybe who was there, what was the despair, how did it feel to tune into the soft animal of your body, and what came up for you when that question came. What do you love? Pause this video. Take as much time as you need with this in your journal. There is no limit of time since we are together virtually. And consider the world offering itself to your imagination. Consider anything, even the slightest thing that came up for you, and record that down. Pause me here, and when you're ready, come back to me. Alright, so typically in my in-person sessions, now would be a time for sharing throughout the circle. We usually create a sacred place, a place where we can speak our truths about anything that has come up for us during this time. But since we are in this virtual space instead of together, obviously we cannot each have our own sharing time. So I encourage you to maybe take a moment here. If you are enjoying this meditation with someone else, you might want to pause. You might want to have a sharing time with one another. If you're alone, of course the comment section is always open and available to you. But if you're not comfortable with that, then take a moment to maybe either write yourself a share in your journal, or maybe even move to a mirror and share with yourself. Speak your truth aloud, speak your despairs or your loves aloud to yourself. Share in whatever way that you feel you would like to. But before we close out, we do want to set an intention for ourselves moving forward into this new moon time, throughout our moon cycle and the new moon in Leo. So take a moment to maybe look over anything you've journaled about, look over anything that's come up to you, and consider anything that we've talked about or the theme of this cycle. And begin to formulate a thought into a sentence or two and set an intention for yourself. You can word it as, this new moon cycle, I will, and set your intention, or you can come up with your own intention, however you would like to do that. So take a moment here and maybe write it down in your journal, set your intention. Another great idea since it is the new moon in Leo and we are working with the element of fire. It might feel nice to you to do a little intention ritual with yourself, to rip off a piece of paper from your journal and record your intention on it, and then maybe offer that intention to the universe by burning it with your candle that we have lit together, and kind of setting that intention free and putting it out there and manifesting it. So that might be a fun little ritual for you to do. If you would like to take a moment and do that, you can pause me here. And then when you are ready, we will just move into our closing short little meditation. So if you are ready to begin closing out your meditation time, we'll do one last centering meditation. So if you'll just get in a comfortable seated position once more, allowing the eyes to drop close and returning back to your breath, focusing on it, bringing your awareness to it. And I want you to hold your hands out in front of you and think of your intention here. Imagine it there in your palm of your hand. And place your hands against your heart. And imagine that you are writing your intention on your heart. Taking an inhale and an exhale. And once again, imagining that there is a light growing in the center of your chest, in your heart space. And you can place your hands comfortably down once more. But focus on this light. See it. And as you breathe, the light amplifies and shines out into your space. And with every inhale, let your awareness begin to float up to the ceiling. Float higher and higher up through your ceiling, up into the sky. And as you are up there, noticing that every person around, down on the ground in your community, has a heart light as well. And see all the lights moving around, and see the circle staying steady where it is. And notice that there is a thread connecting all of the heart lights together, creating a web of light. And this web is huge. A web of light connecting around the whole earth. Feeling all the lines of connection going out and coming in. And connecting to you. These threads represent our connection to everything that is. And you give your energy to this connection as well. Take a deep, big inhale. And on the exhale, allow yourself to drop your awareness back down, back through your ceiling into your space, and back down into your own body. Knowing that this heart light and this connection is there all of the time. Taking a deep breath in and a giant exhale out. And when you're ready, allowing the eyes to open. We will conclude our circle, taking your candle, maybe allowing the eyes to close, or if you don't have a candle, bringing your prayer hands to heart center. And tonight we have honored ourselves and each other in this journey. We have honored a place within us where the entire universe dwells. A place that is love, peace, truth, and light. When I am within that place in me, and you are within that place in you, it is like we are one. This light in me sees and honors the light within you. And as I blow out our candle and this flame, allow that wild spirit to burn within you continuously. Namaste. Thank you everyone for watching this meditation journey and for participating. I hope that you have a wonderful new moon in Leo and you have a wonderful moon cycle as we continue forth. Again, any information you might need that I have mentioned during this video can be found right down below in the description of the video, along with any links to social media and things of that nature, so that you can go back and look at our oracle card or the poem. And then also, if you want to or feel moved to comment in the comments, let me know how you enjoyed this meditation. Please do so. Like I said, this will be the last meditation for new moon time within the series Path of the Poets. So I'll be taking a small hiatus until the new series starts from our new moon meditation videos, and the new series should start in the fall, in September or October. So definitely keep a lookout for that. Make sure you subscribe to the channel or follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all of the things, so you don't miss any of the offerings that I put out there. Again, thank you for taking your time to watch this, and hope you have new moon blessings.